Who am I working for?
The Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast.
Myself, because this is just, I
Real Doctor Who fans.
run this and, pay the monthly subscription fee to have this podcast exist.
With real Doctor Who opinions.
Not the Big Finish, but the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Hello and welcome to the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. I'm your host, Brett, and this is a Big Finish focused podcast. Yes, this is me catching up on some of the biggest Big Finish news that has come out, well, as of the date of recording, the 27th of September, 2024, and just my thoughts and opinions regarding these things. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. I hope you enjoy it. If you'd like to, we'd love to hear from you. Please like, subscribe. If you are watching this on YouTube, please comment and send us an email at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. You can tweet the show at Alhambra Podcast. DMs are open. So the other day, I was in parent-teacher conferences, and I got a notification about some sales. Now, I think... I don't want to go massively too into these sales because by the time this podcast comes up, they are not going to be available at anymore. But I do like that the main range or the monthly adventure, as it has been retitled many years ago, but I, refuse to change because I'm an old curmudgeon like that. So I've had to just, it's hard being me sometimes. Anyway. There was a couple of things that hit my phone, and I think that they're very important for myself. First off, again, the monthly adventures having a couple of flash specials. I really appreciate, they're doing main range 231 to 250, as well as, I believe, they did two of them, and 201 to 230. Now, I think... And I'd love for some of these to stay on sale longer, but I love at 201 was when they kind of like redid a lot of the main range where they stopped having continuous arcs that would come up from time to time. We started off with We Are the Daleks, which is a really good one, even though through Twitter, I disagree with Jonathan Morris because with the cover art has the white Dalek casings. These are the Imperial Daleks that are to Davros, but when you listen to the story, they are obviously not. He claims that, when you go into a work environment, you need to dress up in your best suits. Disagree, but whatever. That's where it started off with. And then again, one of the things that this 200 era brought us was the reintroduction. We had the Planet of the Ronnie. I believe we had a couple of Ronnie episodes. I'm not sure if one of them was in the 100s or whatnot, but it was really nice to get the Ronnie back. I don't think it was great, but it wasn't bad either. So, I mean, again, at time of the recording, you could too, if you wanted to get one of the worst Doctor Who stories of all time, The Behemoth, for 50% off, should you choose. I choose not to. I would, however, go with The Lure of the Nomad. I think that is a fantastic story. This features Colin Baker. It is a story written by Matthew J. Elliott, who I'm just going to check to see what they've written for. They've done the 10th Doctor Chronicles Volume 1. They did the Silurian Candidate, which I didn't really particularly care for. Xaltus, okay, they did that. And then a story from You Are the Doctor and Other Stories. The only one of that one I really liked was the last story, which was almost, and I believe he did do, Dead to the World, right? No. First one was You Are the Doctor. And which one is the one that, I think You Are the Doctor is the choose your own adventure type of a situation, that I thoroughly enjoyed. But Lure of the Nomad. Strongly recommend. Main range release 238. Also, the last time they did the classic logo, the Third Doctor, Eighth Doctor logo, until they, the next one, they changed to the 13th Doctor logo that for me has been plaguing. I'm just not a fan of the logo. Has been plaguing my releases since up until this past year when now we got the much more enjoyable retro yet newish logo on all the cover art. And, sadly, they can't go back and fix that from my Blu-rays that are now, you know, just eyesores, but because they don't go with all the other logos that I have. But you know what? That is a me problem, not anybody else's problem. Anyway, that being said, one of the things that I did notice that they are doing is they have done a permanent price drop on the main range releases. They have done that starting with Absolution, which is episode one, main range release 101, I believe. Let me just double check that to be sure. Yep, 101. And they are going all the way to Recorded Time and Other Stories, which would be 150. And so those are currently £4.99. Then from 151, they are going all the way to Secret History, which is 200, and that is £7.99 for those. And I almost kind of, I'm sad that they don't have the new website because I'd love to, use that 17% off or whatnot. I don't know if that would work with this because I can't really, no, maybe I could just, go back to the time machine and figure out what it looked like back then. But yeah. Anyway, I'm very excited for that. If I were looking for if I was new to Big Finish and I was looking for a reasonably priced release from 101 to 200, this is what I would do. I think these are fantastic releases. I think, ooh, Dark Husband, don't get that one. I think this one, The Condemned is a fantastic story. It introduces us to the companion that never has been, but always should. That is Detective Menzies. We also get introduced to her in the, is it the Doom? No, it's not the Doomwood Curse. What is it? Where is is it? It's not the Doomwood Curse. Raincloud Man. The Raincloud Man. I do love the Raincloud Man too. I believe both stories are written by Jonathan. Nope. Eddie Robson is the Raincloud Man. I take that back. The Condemned is Jonathan. Nope. Eddie Robson again. All right. I'm just going to stop talking now for a while. I strongly recommend Cobwebs that reunites the Nissa, or old Nissa after she left in Terminus, rebrings her back after years of having a family, trying to find a cure for the virus or whatnot, and then reunites with the Doctor, and then continues to have journeys with Tegan and Turlo, and we kind of constantly continue to get a whole bunch of old Nissa stories. She turns young because of the Were Tiger. And then we get the heartbreak, which occurs in the Entropy Plague, which was written by Jonathan Morris. I do have that one right, which is episode 197. So, yeah, I do strongly recommend those. If you would like any other recommendation, or if you have favorites from 101 to 200, please email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. You can tweet the show at Alhambra Podcast. DMs are open. Also, other fun one, just an aside, is Spaceport Fear. I did like Spaceport Fear. This is William Gallagher who wrote this. I love the idea of a spaceport that is constantly, you have business class and economy class, and they are, warring factions, and their taglines are, the motivational posters for economy and the motivational posters for uh, business class or whatnot. I absolutely do appreciate and love that one. Antidote to Oblivion is another one I would recommend. Masters of Earth with Older Perry. is just fantastic. Written by Kevin Scott and Mark Wright. I do actually that Perry trilogy right there is very good. The only one I didn't like is the final one, which is the Ronnie Elite. But you do have the Widow's Assassin, which is hysterical, written by Nicola Bryant's partner, who is my brain just went dead. Nev Fountain. There we go. Thank you, brain. Appreciate that a lot. Thank you for not bailing out on me completely. So I think there's a lot of things to be excited about revolving around Doctor Who and Big Finish currently. I wish I could pick up some of these things, but you know what? Already own them. So, and I think that makes it, I think kind of and that's why I'm like looking forward to the new website being brought back up so that, you can pick up some deals and not be forced to with just the deals that are or were available at the just pre-order release. You can I like the what the Big Finish is looking at doing for down the road. And but yeah, uh website. I'd be kind of curious to find out how long that website is going to take for it to be salvaged and re-released. According to Liam, I saw this on the Facebook, the Big Finish audio group. Liam was talking about how their Big Finish might have found a way to restore everybody's full library on the app this week, but somebody corrected him and said if it's done, it's going to be done by October 1st. So I guess this episode will definitely have come out after October 1st, but that was the rumor, the gossip on the street, which was, I guess, something to look forward to. One of the releases I'm not sure I'm up for. I think I'm going to wait for the reviews and whatnot, but we got the return of Juliet Landau, who is starring is one of the, I guess, whatever vampires for Vamp PD box set 1. We have it is considered a brand new audio drama series from Big Finish Productions, starred Juliet Landau, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I didn't know she was on Buffy. And Angel. I never watched Angel. And then they are whatever. Anyway, it's the first volume is comprised of 3 grisly cases as the undead officers investigate brutal human tasting parties, contaminated red market blood, and a cult that professes to change one of vampire society's oldest rules. Okay. Well, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll have to like listen to the trailer, but I don't know. That doesn't wow me, if that makes sense. I'll tell you something that does wow me, and I've not been, and I've made it known. I've not been the biggest Seventh Doctor fan. I've never not his like a huge Seventh Doctor fan from the old series. I'm not a huge Seventh Doctor fan. Oftentimes with Big Finish, it's just most of his audios are either good or they're mid or they're below. But the cover art got me. Actually, not the cover art got me. It was the title got me. And I messaged Liam and Legion, and Legion shouted back with me, and he said, yes, 1,000 times yes. It says the Doctor and Carnecki. It says Sylvester McCoy and Dan Starkey star in a brand new 7th Doctor Adventures box set as a Time Lord and Victorian detective team up to hunt ghosts in November 2024. Well, that's when it's going to be released. Not actually when it's set. It's actually set in 1910. It says Carnecki, created by by William Hope Hodgson in 1910, is an occult detective. Sherlock is a supernatural. In all of the original stories, he tells his assembled friends about a haunting he has investigated and the horrors he encountered. Now, in 2024, the identity of one of Carnecki's friends can be revealed. Oh, the doctor. So so in the Carnacki's tales, he's sitting around telling tales around the fireplace, and so one of the people that he's telling the tales to is the doctor. Okay, that's even more interesting. And I'm gonna have to now re-listen to the Carnacki stories, files. Is it files? Carnacki, the Ghost Finder. That's what it is. So it says the Seventh Doctor and Carnacki include three full cast audio dramas in which at various points in Carnacki's life, he teams up with the Doctor, Sylvester McCoy, to investigate mysterious goings on. This should come out in October. This should superly come out in October. So it says, continuing on, in the first and second of the three episodes, young Carnacki is played by Joe Jameson, reprising the role from the 2019 Pasternak gang, The Screaming Ceiling. And throughout please tell me that Carnacki's not in that one. I think he was. If memory serves me right, he was. Let's see. Reviews. This is another great set. Heritage 2 continues. Okay. Anyway, cast. We have Dan Starkey as Strax. We have, Joe Jameson as the young. Oh, I do remember that one. I think that was the only one I didn't hate. Anyway, let's see. So it says the Seventh Doctor, blah, 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 blah. Where is it? Reprising his role let's see. And throughout the box set, the older Carnacki is played by Dan Starkey, who previously narrated Big Finish's Carnacki the Ghost Finder, a collection of readings of 6 of the original stories. So I am very excited for this. The first story is The Haunter of the Shore by A.K. Benedict. It takes place in 1897. Young Carnacki investigates a case at Edgemere Manor where the skeletons of tourists are left on the shore of the lake. Carnacki must discard everything he knows when he oh, that's right. Yeah, sorry. I just barely remembered the screaming ceiling. Yeah. Okay. Yep. I got it now. It's all coming back to me. The next story is The House by Georgia Cook. Awoken in the dead of night to assist his distraught friend, Carnacki finds himself unexpectedly thrust into a long-buried mystery from his childhood and face to face with a man he hasn't seen in years, the Doctor. But what is the house? All right. And then the last one, The Institute of the Forgotten Souls by Jonathan Barnes. Wow, Jonathan Barnes is... I don't think he's done things for Big Finish for a while. Let's see. Oh, is he in Zygon Century? Is that something he's doing? Yeah, he is doing. Lauren Mooney and Stuart Pringle, Trevor Baxendale, and Jonathan Barnes. Okay. I wish there was more. Jonathan Barnes did do Once and Future, Invasion of Planetoid 50. And then he did the Silver. Okay, so he has done stuff like, he did Doctor Who Peladon. Yeah, I think after, doing Doctor Who Peladon, one like looks at their career and starts reassessing everything that they've ever done and every single choice that they've ever made in life. But that's just what I would do if I wrote that. I kid, kind of. This box set is script edited by Matt Fitton. Yeah, this is fantastic. I am so excited for the Doctor and Carnacki. This is going to make November so fantastic. The War Master reaches Dark Gallifrey is another news item. The second trilogy of Dark Gallifrey concludes. And the reason why I bring this up is I was looking at the Big Finish audio group, and some people, have not dipped their toes in it. They're waiting to figure out is it worth it? And does this tie into the Gallifrey series and the best response I heard is some of them do and some of them are just standalone stories. And so I don't know what to make of that. I think that's interesting, but also not at the same time. All right. And the last thing that I think, and this is going to be a short podcast. Last thing I want to look at is the Eighth Doctor, the Time War Reflections, or sorry, Uncharted. Time War dash Uncharted colon Reflections. A brand new box set of audio dramas starring Paul McGann and some familiar faces, which are Emma Campbell and Jones. Oh no. Who's that? Who is that? I don't remember that name. Cass. Okay, there we are. Oh, Sunny is back. Okay. All right. I probably should just delete this part, but you know what? I'm just going to leave it in warts and all. Anyway, I was actually looking to basically talk more about some Big Finish stuff, but I don't really see much of anything. So I'm just going to conclude this. This is going to be a short podcast. I hope it was enjoyable. What are you looking forward to for the remainder of 2024? What have you enjoyed in Big Finish? I know it has been few and far between that we've done a Big Finish audio review this year. Insanity of schedules, moving, life changes, and stuff like that have really taken a toll. I'm trying to give at least one episode of the Big Finish. The Big Finish? Who am I working for? Myself, because this is just, I run this and, pay the monthly subscription fee to have this podcast exist myself. So not the Big Finish, but the Doctor Who Alhambra podcast. I'm trying to give content consistently, at least one episode a week. Again, I did enjoy doing it once a day at one point in time, but maybe at one point in time that will become a thing once again. So thanks again for downloading and listening. We do appreciate it. Please like, subscribe if you're watching and listening to this on YouTube. Comment down below. Email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. Tweet the show at Alhambra Podcast. DMs are open. And until next time, I will see you in time. You have been listening to the Doctor Who Alhambra Podcast. Doctor Who is owned and trademarked by the BBC. Doctor Who Alhambra is not affiliated with the BBC or Big Finish. No infringement is intended. Visit our website at alhambrapodcast.weebly.com or email the show at alhambraaudio@gmail.com. Tweet us at Alhambra Podcast. That is ALHAMBRA Podcast. Thank you.